Welcome, 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 welcome. You know who I am if you're watching this. This is Jay Hooft cuddling with an ET doll. And Jay Hooft is from JKB, and Johnny Millennium right there from Happy Console Gamer. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Go ahead,
Oh, we're doing
Johnny.
fucking fantastic. Shut the fuck up,
Always
Jay.
takes everything. Go.
Yeah, talk at the same time. Talk over each other.
No, go
That's
ahead.
what
Johnny's got precedence here. Go ahead.
I do have precedence.
Fucking loser.
Hey, but before that, Jay, did you like the ET thing from last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, a joke only like two people watching this stream are gonna understand. So,
Oh yeah, we're live.
yeah, you're live, so people are watching you. All right, guys.
And listen,
so,
hang on. If you're watching it on my channel, recorded, and you're like, "What's with the quality?" Blame Rerez. But also, it's going up on my channel. So, I wanted to talk about NX, also the Switch now, and we're doing it with these idiots. Let's do it.
Okay, so how about Shane? You
Yeah.
start off. What was your impressions of the Nintendo Switch this morning?
Oh, look
Okay,
at
so-
look at his face. He knows. He knows.
Okay,
He knows what's gonna
So-
happen.
we're having a debate because everybody in this chat has a different opinion about what happened.
No,
All right.
it's gonna be a gang up. You know what's happening. Get ready. Where's your chocolate cake so you feel better after? Look, listen. The only way the only reason he wants it to fail is so it becomes an obscure console, and he can make $1,000 off of views off a video in like
That's
3 years.
absolutely not why. That's not why. Look. Okay. The NX makes me nervous. Okay. I love the name. The NX, the Switch, the Nintendo Switch. I love the name, the Nintendo Switch. I really do. I think it's awesome that it's a portable system. I really feel like it's going to be a really cool portable system that I think is going to surpass the 3DS. I really think that. I think it's cool that they're talking about all this third-party support from all these different people. But at the end of the day, my biggest problem is that I think it's a poor design. I think the hardware is going to be too weak. And I really feel like the system is probably going to destroy Nintendo's home console market in general. I think this is going to, because what they're doing is they're now merging their mobile and their home console together at the same time. And I feel like their third-party support is going to be so bad for one specific feature, one specific reason. If you're going to have a portable system, the portable system cannot it cannot by nature be as powerful as the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, simply because in order to get the Tegra chip and all that stuff and to do everything they want to do with NVIDIA, it would cost a hell of a lot. Thank you so much for eating a sub live on the stream, Jay. Professionalism.
I tried to wait. No, let's do it.
So-
Fine.
Continue on, Shane. Let Shane say his piece first.
The reason why I think we're going to have some issues is because they showed a cartridge being used that looks similar to an SD card. Okay, the 64 gig SD card here cost me $40 to buy, and Call of Duty, the new one, is 130 gigs. So good luck getting that one on a cartridge. That's going to be a cheap price. On top of that, because it's a portable system, they're going to have to make a system that is actually lower in quality compared to the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, meaning they're going to have to make a completely different version of the game for the for the Switch. So what I see happening is a repeat of what happened with the Wii U. They're making very unique hardware that has a lot of promises and a lot of interesting ideas with some amazing first-party games from Nintendo, but the third-party market is going to fall through and completely destroy Nintendo's third-party support for forever. This is going to be it. This is going to be the system that finally puts the nail in the coffin, and I feel like it's going to damage Nintendo more than it's going to help.
But what if the third-party support creates a lot of original games just for the Switch?
That's not going to happen.
But what if, look at all the developers they showed.
So it's not going to happen.
Okay. You know, the only
Why would
way
they do
The
that?
developers show are not going to make games for the Switch that they showed today.
They might make some individual, like, look at when they were showing off the video, they're like, hey, what third-party game should we show? How about NBA and fucking Skyrim? Skyrim came out before the Wii U. Skyrim is so old, it predates the show you're watching right now. Like, that's insane that this has actually, that was one of the things they showed up. I'm
Okay,
like,
wait,
you're not
wait,
even
wait.
showing Fallout 4. You're
Wait a
showing
second.
Skyrim.
I know.
You're
Well,
showing,
like who go here?
No, just I think we should break it down so Shane says his little piece about something, and then Johnny each say our piece on what Shane is saying, because I think Johnny and I are coming from the same background of thought here. So
Go. Yeah.
So break down your points once more, really quickly. Just give us a point, and we're going to give you the rebuttal.
Okay, so first, I think the modular design of the console is neat, but also a flaw because modular designs essentially mean that it's a controller that has a bunch of moving parts, and anytime you have moving parts in a controller, like pieces that clip on and stuff, they'll be a little bit loose and they won't be as tight fitting as an actual controller that's just made one solid.
That was a concern when I was looking at that, for sure. That is a concern.
So
I think that's reasonable to say.
You're concerned about the controllers that after clipping it in and off over a period of 2 years, it'll be loose.
Yes.
Hey, Jay, what if you're on the bus and you think you put the controller down, you get off, and you're like, where's my other controller piece? It may be really cheap to replace, but taking things apart is a bit of a weird thing, but it still is cool.
Now,
Like,
let's just point out, the only time you take those off on the go is if you set the display down and play separately, because when I first
Which
watched,
is dumb.
Yeah, well, hang on that one. You think it's dumb. I don't.
Yeah, I don't think it's dumb either.
The moment that they took the controllers off and put it down on the airplane, I thought, okay, I get it. I get that you can take the controllers off and play comfortably. You don't have to look down at the system anymore like a 3DS. You can put it anywhere and play from a short distance. I think that's a plus.
Bullshit.
No, hold on a sec. And Jay's right. Imagine you're on a plane and they didn't show us. You have your arms just behind you, and you can be playing that way. That's kind of neat.
See, that's something
like
that's...
Who the hell is doing that? No, this is...
Hey, you need to get on a fucking plane and travel somewhere, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, you do.
If I'm on a bus, if I'm on a train, if I'm on a plane...
Either.
If I'm on anything, if I'm on anything, okay, if I'm anywhere and I'm playing this system, the idea is I'm gonna put the screen somewhere with the kickstand built in.
You don't get it. It went over your head.
Like this. Whoa! I'm so glad I'm doing this on a bus. I wish I could be. It makes more sense like this, with the controllers hooked up together. But because they were showing off, just listen.
No,
they were
the
showing
concept went over your fucking head. You were looking at cheesecake. You should have been looking at the screen. The idea is, if you want to play it comfortably on the go, you can do that. It comes apart, but for the most part, most people will play it like a traditional handheld console.
Let me cash in here.
Let me just say, do you know why that's a problem?
Why?
Because when you have removable controllers, like we talked about, it might get loose over time, but you're not maximizing the space inside the design of the controller. So that extra space, look, that console is now going to have 3 batteries: a battery in one controller, a battery in the other controller, and a battery in the center piece. And because they had to do that, that also means that these devices are not going to be connecting in a way that if you're using this and you told me that half the phone came off, that means half the phone now comes off, and you can't be using the equipment inside to expand upon the graphics capabilities, the battery size, and all that stuff. You're putting in extra components just to make a connection happen between the devices. That's added additional stuff that is simply not needed.
Yeah, but you know what? I could say the complete opposite. Instead of putting the controller within the design of the device, they've taken out the controller and had more room within the screen to put more processing power into it.
The one interesting thing that Shane did bring up here, none of us know this from the video, is how long the battery lasts for. Look at the Wii U. That battery doesn't even last for 2 fucking hours. I'm telling you. With Kim playing Mirage Sessions, having to look down at the freaking screen all the time, type emails on it to fictional characters, that screen lasted no time. We kept plugging it in. So when you take it out of the docking station, how long does that last?
I bet you it's 4 hours.
You probably 4 or 5. Yeah, exactly. Somewhere in there.
Now, getting back to what you were saying there, though, do you understand, though, the reason they showed it with the controllers on and off?
Yeah. Sorry. You mean like when they were showing...
Well, they showed somebody clipping them on and playing it outside on the go. Then they showed somebody sitting down comfortably and playing it on the go. So you think that's stupid? No one will ever do that.
I think it's stupid. No one will ever do that. I think it would have been smarter just to have the controller as one solid piece, like the Wii U controller. Remember, this looks exactly like the Wii U controller. I feel one solid thin device would have been way smarter, because the idea is,
well, when I'm on the bus and I have a table in front of me, I can just kickstart that shit up on there and I can start playing on the go.
Bullshit. Nobody does that.
No, but that's a dumb description of what it can do. Like, nobody's ever going to do that on a bus. Obviously, you're going to have the controller attached to it when you're on the bus.
But why even offer the secondary solution?
Because it's multiplayer. Yeah, it's something new in gaming. Think about
It's multiplayer. It's multiplayer. It's multiplayer with one of these things and 4 buttons. That's not multiplayer. What that means that they're going to have to make games.
Oh, I know.
He didn't have his cake. He didn't have his cake today.
Shane, let's go into the future here. That I'm just going to mention me and Jay because we like this system. We're excited about it.
Yeah.
So okay, so just hear this. Jay has his system. No, I have mine.
Wait. Just pretend it's cake, not a system. Okay, go.
Oh, fuck. Anyways, Jay brings over his system to my house. We both put it down, and we're both playing Mario Kart, maybe even in another room. You know what I mean? And that's cool. And I can sit like this, with my dick out for Harambe.
Here we go. This is the argument I wanted. You're going to play Mario Kart. How many buttons, how many joysticks do you need to play Mario Kart? Go.
Hey, you forgot it has motion controls.
Dodge the question.
No,
answer
listen.
the question.
You forgot it has motion controls.
The little controllers are going to have motion controls.
No, they do. It's confirmed. They have the same Wiimote controls
in
them.
Good God. Everyone, we're going back to motion control world. We walked away.
You don't get it. You don't get it.
I'm not with motion controls either for that kind of thing, but
did you not play Mario Kart with Wii?
Yeah, you can, but
so
it's not as...
You hand the controller to me when we're playing Mario Kart. You're missing the point here.
Use Mario Kart is unbelievably fun. You get one of these to turn, and obviously not this controller, but you get one of these to turn, you get one of these to use your camera, and then you use everything else for okay, what's one of the things we all do on Mario Kart? Since the very first Mario Kart, we use the tabs to do the little jumps back and forth a little bit, right? I
just asked you a question. Did you play Mario Kart on the Wii?
Yes.
Did you love it?
I played it with a controller.
Okay, cool. You did, but Johnny, did you play with the Wiimote at all?
On the Wii itself? Yeah, I was on the steering wheel. Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
Okay, so I think hardcore gamers definitely don't like it. Sure, fine. Some people don't like it, but personally for me, that's the reason that thing sold 10 million copies, because you could pick it up and play it by just turning it. I think you guys are not remembering that.
I'm not listen. That's the idea of motion controls for different games, but maybe not so much for Mario Kart type of thing. But Shane, I don't get it. I'm playing Mario Kart with the controls on the side attached. It's fine. What's your issue with that?
My issue is that okay, look at how they were showing that. Okay, let's just pick up the Wii U.
Oh, is this going to get physical? He's bringing back a bat.
By the way, this is the first Nintendo console that they have ever released since the TV game 8 or TV game 9 or whatever that doesn't have a D-pad on it. Remember that. That's really weird. It doesn't have a D-pad. But that right there is the controller. Right there. Okay? That's half the controller. Look at that. You've got all this dead space over here, and you have that there, and then this. Isn't that weird? Like, you're going to be playing a game like this? Come on, man. That's bizarre. And you're not going to be able to use this because your hand is going to be hitting it, so they're probably going to disable the the shoulder button when you're playing it. Using those two controllers as motion controls, as multiplayer controllers, is not a smart move. This thing should have looked exactly like this that you just put into a toaster. That's literally all it should have been. But because they're offering...
Shane, I think you'd fucking... you toasted it. That's probably going to be the name of it. Is that some names that people are talking about online? The toaster?
I just called it a toaster a second after I saw it when I was watching the stream. I just said it. I think they're going to call it the Switch toaster.
Okay, so what I thought, I even mentioned it in my video that I did, is that when all those people are sitting around with those little controllers playing, I even said it's kind of weird. It's kind of like they're playing these like mini controllers, and I'm like, okay, would that be really? Is that a good controller? I haven't used it, but it looks kind of weird.
It's all just marketing. What they're showing you right there is just they're trying to make you excited and go, look what you can do with this. And it's like, yeah, but at the end of the day, do you remember all those really cool things they were showing with the Wii U? They're like, you can take the Wii U controller, put it on the ground, you can play golf. And I was like, yeah, but who's going to actually do that? Because
I
Nintendo...
play golf. What are you talking about?
Did you actually put the Wii U controller on the floor.
I used to squat on it and put my balls straight on it. That was amazing.
Listen, I'm just
everyone's
saying.
Everyone in the chat saying Nintoaster right now. Nintoaster. You know what?
Shane's labeled it. He gets this.
If Mario Kart plays well with a little dinky controller, motion controls or not, the fact that I can plop that screen anywhere and go, Johnny, here's a controller, let's just play 2-player on the go, fucking amazing. It's amazing.
That's cool. And right. Shane, can I please say, and this is always the argument that everybody uses, and it's always the best argument, and that is, for me, it depends on the games that are coming out. Obviously first party, obviously third party. We haven't seen that. This is just a teaser to make us go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, what if they've got some killer software. They have to. So
let's go on to Shane's next point.
All right,
let's do this. He doesn't like the clip-off controller. We do. I think it's fine. I don't think any of us should really judge how it feels until we hold it.
I agree with that. We should judge.
I like to call it the strap-on controller.
Oh my god. I agree that we shouldn't judge the controller until we used it, because honestly, until you've used the controller, you really don't know how it's going to interact. For all I know, the thing is going to be the best feeling controller in the world. It certainly doesn't look like that. But hey,
the Game Boy Micro, people love that fucking thing. Loved it, and it's essentially the same size as that controller. So
and nobody bought the Game Boy Micro.
It's an interesting comparison to the
Micro. You know what's funny? I work with a video game store down here. They can't keep the Game Boy Micro in stock no matter what they try to do. People buy it at $100.
Because they didn't sell enough of them, and they made a very small amount.
Well,
remember, that
people
was like
still
back
want
then.
It, so I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
8-Bit Eric sent me a message, and he was like, you know what? This is going to be one of those consoles like the Wii U in 10 years everyone's going to be very fond of. And I agree. You know what? People are fond of the Dreamcast now. But do you remember owning the Dreamcast when it actually came out and being that lonely kid that no one else would talk to because you were talking to a fucking fish on your TV with Leonard Nimoy doing the main menu score? You know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff. That kind of idea that, well, it's going to be good in the future. That doesn't matter. It's got to be good now.
All right, so your next point.
Next point.
Yeah. Let's hear it. Let's hear your next one.
I think it's a very bad thing that we're not seeing Rockstar's name on that list of developers.
What are you talking about? Take-Two's on there.
Yeah, but not Rockstar.
Take-Two Interactive, that publishes Rockstar games, is on the list.
You didn't see... Jay, don't even play that game.
What?
If Nintendo had Rockstar, they would put Rockstar's name on there.
Yeah, but no, you're forgetting something. You got to remember that all of this has to do with business and money and deals and all sorts of things. Do you think Rockstar would just be like, put our name on a little list? Rockstar's big enough to say, listen, give us the opportunity to say that it's coming to your system to create hype. Or maybe Nintendo wants to create hype down the line. Of course they're not going to lay out all of their cards on the first trailer that we see. Can you imagine if they line these up and knock them down? Totally.
Because they can't get Grand Theft Auto 5 to work on the Switch. That's why.
That's just you speculating. I mean,
that's speculation.
Don't bring up speculation. Skyrim's running on the fucking system, so if it can run Skyrim remastered, I'm pretty sure it could do GTA 5.
Different beasts, man. They're different kinds of games.
You're being negative.
Yeah, you're being negative. It's ridiculous.
Skyrim is an old game.
They remastered it.
Don't understand this. Skyrim came out.
Why are you so negative when we don't even know what the system can do?
Yeah, what is that? Why are you bitter? Did you drop?
I'm not bitter.
I know what happened.
It's a portable.
I know why he's like portable.
Portable video game system.
I know why.
Dude, we don't even know what resolution Skyrim is running on the system. We know nothing about it.
Who gives a fuck the resolution? It's Skyrim. I don't give a fuck if the resolution's 720p on the
Shane,
who cares?
Why is the glass half empty with you with this system? No, why is the glass half empty with you with this?
Because
I'll tell you why. I know why. Because he was. Let me tell. I'll tell you. He got this amazing chocolate cake, and he hates portable systems because he dropped his Wii U controller right in the cake. He's bitter for life now. Bitter.
I'm so angry about my chocolate cake
if
getting
you
all
bring
over
up,
my controller.
But hey, Shane, like the difference between me and you is that I watched that trailer and I saw like the Mario 64 kind of game, and it excited me. I was like, oh my god, like that kinds of stuff. Like I kind of look more into that, and I keep on the positive side of looking at that. I'm like, this is great. And you're like, you look at it and go, oh, fuck this, fuck that.
Don't you get excited about the Mario game?
I'm super excited about the Mario game, and if that's a launch title, I'm buying the well, you know what? Even if it's not a launch title, I'm going to say this because this is true. Even if there are no games launching with the system on day one, I'm still buying this console day one. Let me put that right out there.
But with all the negativity, you find there's some positivity. What do you like about it? Like just the aesthetics?
Well, yeah. I actually do like the portable nature of the system. I like
the way. What the hell are you saying?
Because, dude, you can like something and know it's shit. Do you know what I mean? I love Flash Gordon the movie, but Flash Gordon's a terrible movie. I love the Wii U. I love the games on the Wii U.
Flash Gordon is a terribly good movie.
But look, I love the Wii U. I love the hell the Wii U. I think the Wii U has the best first-party games out there. I think the Wii U is one of the best video game systems you can buy because I really enjoy it. But you know what? It's not a good console for everyone. When I look at these video game systems, I remove myself from the equation because I want to see what other people are going to be looking at. That's the way I do my show. If I'm going to talk about the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, I'm looking about what other people are seeing in the system. And I'm trying to see what I see it in as well, and future-proofing and stuff like that. But the reality is, as much as I love the Wii U crashed. And that's the only system I bought on release on day one of the latest consoles. And honestly, as soon as I saw the PlayStation 4, I knew it was going to surpass the Wii U. As soon as I saw the Xbox One, to be honest, I didn't think that was going to surpass the Wii U because when they originally announced the Xbox One, there was a lot of problems with that when they first announced that. But when they did the Wii U, I've got a video of myself reviewing the Wii U, and at the very end of the Wii U review, I go, I don't know what their game plan is with this. I don't know if people are going to love this. You have to love the controller to love the system. Okay. And as much as I love the controller and love the system, it didn't work for everyone. I had my cousin come over, young kid came over, tried to play the Wii U when it first came out, and he didn't know how to use the controller. And now we're going to be giving them...
That doesn't mean anything. So
He's my family member, for fuck's sake.
I know, but I'm just saying, so one kid didn't know how to use a controller. That big deal. That doesn't mean that thousands of others know how to pick it up and use it.
That's fine, but thousands of others didn't get the Wii U, Jay. Well, nobody bought the fucking Wii U. The Wii U...
100,000. Anyways, I don't want to argue the Wii U. I want you to get back on track of what we're talking about.
But this is the NX controller looks exactly like the Wii U. Sorry, the Switch controller looks exactly like the Wii U.
But it is.
So now you like the portable side of it, though.
So now,
but I do love that because oh my god, dude, you're telling me Zelda Breath of the Wild, I can play that while I'm on the toilet? Yes. You're telling me
stream that shit.
Yeah, you're telling me I can be at a grocery store in a gigantic ass line and I can play Zelda Breath of the Wild. You best fucking believe I love that idea. That's amazing. And as a gamer, that's exciting stuff.
So wait a second. No, I gotta say this. So hang on a second. You'll play it with all the groceries, like thawing and everything, and chaos around you. You'll play Legend of Zelda in a fucking lineup, but you won't play it on the bus where you have to detach the controller. Oh my god!
He's got you there. He's got you.
Yeah,
get real.
Because I don't know what bus have you ever been on where it has a table on the bus? There you go. No, but you don't. Yeah, you take transit. I know you do.
You take the controllers off. And then all of a sudden, it's a shit system that the controller comes off. But if they stay on and you're in a grocery store, everything
if I get it,
lovely.
Dude, if I get it, I'm just keeping it clipped on. When I get the toaster and I bring it at home, I'm putting it with the toaster inside with the controls on, and I'm buying a secondary controller. Do you seriously think I'm going to be removing the damn secondary controllers again and again and again? Absolutely not. By the way, guys, we just broke through 1,000 people watching right now live. That is the biggest number of people we've ever had watching anything we've ever done on Rerez. Wow, thank you guys for that.
Just so everybody knows in the chat, we're all very good friends. We're all Canadians here.
Yes.
You know?
we want to know why you turned American on the Nintendo Switch. What happened?
Say that. No, guys, like it's... As a gamer, as Shane Lewis, I love what the NX is, or sorry, I love what the Switch is going to be.
No, here's the thing, Shane. When you went on Twitter, when you went on Twitter, everything you were saying positive right now, you didn't say on Twitter. You just laid down the negative, just like Angry Joe always does. He lays down everything negative and then goes, "Why is everyone so angry at me?" And then all of a sudden he'll say, "Oh, but I love the system." Like it makes no sense. Say what you want to say, but you don't say it. That's what's so annoying.
Do you know what I did on Twitter? All I typed in was Wii U 2. And as soon as I said Wii U 2,
Yeah,
everyone freaked out
because everyone's so like negative. It's like, okay, here we go again.
Jay, don't do that. You can't say that's negative. I just told you I love the Wii U. So if it's the Wii U too, I love that. But the rest of the world doesn't love that. Motherfucker, you think
it's because of the rest of the stuff you said.
He's fucking losing his mind. Look
I love it.
We got Shane he's coming out of the closet, folks.
Motherfucker. How many people go out of their way to buy any of this stuff, okay? If I don't like Nintendo, why the hell do I own a boxed Virtual Boy with the collector's edition case that you can only get from Blockbuster? Who the fuck does that hates Nintendo? And you know what? I actually like the Virtual Boy. I do. But in reality, the Virtual Boy is a piece of shit for everyone else. But I loved it. I love Nintendo systems. I love Nintendo controllers. I love Nintendo games. And you can love something but criticize it. That's what makes you a fan. If you purposely love something for no reason, then you're a fucking Fruit Loop.
I agree with you on that.
I agree with that as
well. Now get back in the closet.
Yeah.
Get back in the... Yeah.
If you keep on this line of negativity, Shane, you're going to lose your discount at the Cheesecake Factory. You'll lose it.
I definitely will. I can already tell all the cheesecake factories in the world just like blocked me.
Okay, what's your next...
Thank you, Joshua Blades, for becoming a new sponsor.
What's your next point?
My next point is honestly I'm really nervous about third-party adoption. This is a big deal. Third-party adoption is what's going to make the Wii, or what's going to make this system work. It's what's going to drive people to play this console. Because look, do any of us in this chat, does anybody in the chat right now
agree with you on this one.
That the Wii U has one of the best has the best first-party games on any of the systems?
But
does anyone disagree with that?
It wasn't enough to propel that system past what it did
that's
in
exactly what hurt the Wii U. It didn't have enough third-party support. We all know that. We all know.
You know, like Super Mario Maker, I'm in love with Super Mario Maker. Thank you, Weedman, for becoming a new sponsor. I'm in love with Super Mario Maker. I really did love Nintendo Land. I loved a lot of the games on there. Pikmin 3 is the only RTS to ever kick ass on a console, period. It's such a good puzzle and RTS game. The Wii U is unbelievable with its first-party games. And I know that this NX is, or sorry, I keep saying NX. I know that the Nintendo Switch is going to be just as good when it comes to first-party games. I can never say it's not going to be that way because we know Nintendo. Everyone here, even if you're an Xbox fanboy or a Sony fanboy, you know deep down in the core of your cold black heart, because you just can't love Nintendo or be public about it, you know how awesome Nintendo games are. And that's true, right? We all know that. But at the end of the day, if you don't get a Grand Theft Auto 5, if you don't get a Red Dead Redemption 2, if you don't get a Call of Duty, those are the things that you're going to see a problem with. We saw Activision has their name on that little big list, and on that list, it's stating that Activision is going to be releasing games on the platform. But we need to see how they do Call of Duty, because the latest Call of Duty is 130 gigs, and that means they're going to need an 130 gig cartridge. That's going to be...
Do we have any idea about the cartridges? No.
We don't know anything about the cartridges. Yeah. No. But at the same time, this console, this portable console with a battery in it, a Tegra chip processor, all this fun stuff, it also has to have a big hard drive space, because it's going to have the ability to download these games online to some extent. And we don't know, like, my phone is pretty expensive. It's got a 64 gig drive on it. I know a lot of people out there don't have hard drives that surpass 200 gigs. I don't actually know if they must sell cell phones with 200 gig drives on them now, right?
Yeah, like 256 iPhones.
Yeah, stuff like that. So those phones are super expensive, and that space is really, really expensive. These cartridges are a lot more expensive to make than Blu-ray discs, because Blu-ray discs you can produce them at like 1 cent each. These things are not just basic plastic. There's metal components in here. There's silicone components. There's a lot of stuff going on here that makes these chips a lot more expensive.
So what are you getting at? You're saying that people are going to have to go out, buy extra SD cards to put into the system because it is expandable, and use that as their hard drive in the system, and you're worried that like a terabyte card is going to cost, I don't know the cost on that. Maybe the chat can let us know. So that's an extra cost, you're saying, on top of the console. So you're worried about that.
What I'm saying is that if they were to release the new Call of Duty on this system, and it's the same version that's on Xbox One, the same version that's on PlayStation 4, the same version that's on PC, what you're going to see is either they're going to heavily reduce the quality of the game to make it fit on a smaller cartridge. They're going to have to cut out features in order for it to work on this system. Or what they're going to do is they're going to have an expensive cartridge, and Nintendo is going to have to eat the cost of producing the expensive cartridge just to get the game to fit on something like that. Because if it actually is going to be on a 130 gig card, then you have to realize that Nintendo isn't going to be selling these things making these things at a cent each. They're probably going to be making these things at a cost of $3 or $4 each, which if they sell 1 million copies of a game at $5, that's $5 million they invested in the actual production of these cartridges just to sell them.
Yeah, so basically you're just saying Nintendo's profits won't be as spectacular as they're going to hope they are, based on the fact that these games are too big for the carts.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying that the cartridge is a negative aspect of this console.
I believe it is. I mean, obviously it's a portable system, so it has to have something like that. I think the cartridge really was the only way they could do anything with that. But yeah, I feel like that might be something that really harms, not from Nintendo itself for making first-party games.
We need more information.
We do. But I think from Nintendo's perspective, from first-party, it's going to be fine. But legitimately, the third-party support, that's where I see it being a big problem. Because if I'm a developer and I'm like, okay, I want to make a video game, I'm going to make it on the PlayStation 4 because there's more PlayStation 4s in the market than anything else. I'm going to make it on the Xbox One, and I'm going to make it on the PC. So if I do that, I'm thinking, all right, 50 gig Blu-ray disc, a pretty big hard drive for me to download additional files, online support, and it's not using a Tegra processor. It's using an x86 processor. It's using a very specific video card. Like, remember, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the PC are so close in system designs now. This system is this new Nintendo system is coming out, and it's going to be radically different compared to everybody else.
Well, I thought it was actually getting closer to that with that new chipset, the custom chip that they built for it. Did you read up on that?
Well, Tegra's not anywhere close to what they're putting on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah, but have you read the statement that they put out?
I read NVIDIA's blog post about it.
So isn't it easier to program on this than, say, the Wii U, because it's closer to PC architecture inside this chip?
It's not PowerPC based, so it is, but it's not so much like if it's easier to program for. Now the problem is, how do we lower it down to make it work in a portable?
Okay, let's get into that really quick here. Basing on graphics, and here's one thing I noticed online that nobody was making any complaints about was, the graphics don't look spectacular, like better than PS4, better than Xbox One. And I think the time and the age we live in now, I think the hardcore gamers are completely, utterly sick of hearing that whole bullshit about, like, it needs to look photorealistic and all that. So in terms of the graphics, how do you guys feel about the fact that this is basically on par with the PS4, maybe probably a little bit under that? Are you happy about that, Shane? Or
what I thought was really unusual was that the Mario Kart they showed was pretty much the Mario Kart that we just played on the Wii U. It was
the Mario Kart on the Wii U.
No, it wasn't. That's a new Mario Kart based on a few different aspects. You had 2 items that you could use on that. You also had different trees that were different from the old version, which basically says that's a different version of the track. And then the avatar photos. It has to be a new
version. It can't just be a port.
And the avatar photos that were on that picture are different than Mario Kart 8. So that's obviously a Mario Kart for the new system.
Well, actually, hey, Jay, so hold on. Wouldn't it be possible where they just because Mario Kart on the Wii U is a fantastic game, and they just do an updated,
totally. Why wouldn't they just do that?
Textures, all that kind of shit.
I think Mario Kart Collection. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, probably Mario Kart Switch or something like that, right?
So okay, Mario Kart can be played on the go. So if Johnny has a system and I have a system, we have our own screen, or we could just play on one system, which I think is an amazing feature on this device. But something I did want to talk about are the ideas of putting that console down in front of 4 different people and 4 people play. I thought about one negative aspect. Who controls the camera if it's like, you know what I mean? Like in certain aspects of gaming, camera plays a big role, and if you can't control the camera, that means the developer has to do it for the multiplayer, and all of these things just popped into my head, and I'm kind of curious on what your thoughts on if we're going to have, if that feature is going to be cool or not, because Mario Kart, it works. Basketball, I guess it works because the court just switches, but what if they try to do it like in a, I don't know, like a, you know, if they're trying to do something new, like a Mario Party game or something, it's just kind of, it's a little weird to me. I don't know how that's going to work in terms of like.
Well, I think in terms of Call of Duty, right? When I think of multiplayer games, I think Call of Duty and split screen, right? And immediately I go, all right, so you're telling, oh, by the way, Call of Duty won't work split screen on this thing, right? It just can't. There's no way.
Well, there is one way, because they didn't really talk about it too much in that trailer, but there is the Pro, whatever they're calling it, Pro controller that I'm guaranteeing can work on the go as well. So if you want to play Call of Duty on the go, you have that controller in your backpack.
I agree. The Pro controller I think is really cool. I think that should be like the central. Like I'm buying one of those day one.
See, here's the thing about this trailer. It showed me a couple of different things, but for the most part, they didn't really go into detail as how it was a home console. It was all about like, yeah, it's a home console, but look, it does this and this and this on the go, which is cool. And I think a lot of young kids will be playing the hell out of this thing, especially if there's a Pokemon Go type game on it. But
I don't think Nintendo thinks that.
Well,
did you watch that trailer? There was not one kid playing any video games. It was all these like
that was on purpose. That was just
it was all these like these. There was all these hip guys. There was all these people. It's like, hey guys, before we go play our go-karts, let's play Mario Kart in the back of my van.
That's like, just branding. That's just smart branding, because Nintendo knows where they're sitting,
dude. They were showing some girl playing something. I think she was playing Super Mario, and then she looks out the window and she waves to her friends that are on the rooftop next to her. What the fuck is this, Spider-Man?
This is Nintendo World, for fuck's sake.
It's just showing what it can do. It's saying that it's not just for kids.
It's a goddamn commercial.
I don't mind that it was cheesy.
You know
whatever.
What the commercial was showing me?
I'd rather have this than a bunch of kids playing Mario Party and screaming, and we would like to play. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Playing it? Would you get it if you saw a bunch of 6-year-olds playing it? No,
I
don't think
so. That's why
I would like to see a couple of kids enjoying games, man. Like, why
do you want to see kids playing games? You creep.
Dude, because I was a kid when I got into Nintendo games, and I love seeing other kids get into Nintendo games from an early age. And seeing, do you remember the wonder and awesome you had when you were a kid and you played Super Mario Brothers for the very first time on the NES?
Yes, of course.
And when we have kids, I'd eventually like to see our kids get into Nintendo games. And if Nintendo becomes an older company,
so wait a second. So you're one of those guys that's like, Nintendo's all kids stuff. It's all branding with kids, and then the moment Nintendo goes, sorry guys, it is for adults. Here, this like you can go out and drink and have fun at the park and do stuff. But now Shane's like, there's no kids in the trailer. It's shit. Like, what do you do? Like,
I've never said Nintendo's too kids.
Now you're saying like the complete opposite of what's in the trailer. You don't like about it. So Nintendo gives you the kids, you don't like it.
That's just an observation from marketing standpoint.
Like, what do you need aliens to come down and anal fuck you while you play the device. Like, I don't know what you.
If there's a bunch of kids, sitting around eating cake, playing this, Shane would have been happy.
Shane would have lost his shit. Tears.
Okay. Everyone keeps saying Skyrim. Skyrim's really amazing. Okay, we already have Skyrim. Skyrim's a game. They showed off a bunch of games that already existed. That was one, except for the Mario game.
No, what are you talking about? Mario Kart 9, a new Mario game, which people aren't even discussing.
That is a Mario game for sure, and a new that looks like a new Splatoon as well, obviously.
Yeah, and a fucking new Zelda game. Like, you're getting a new Mario, a new Zelda, a new Mario Kart, and Skyrim, and you're saying that launch lineup is shit. That's the worst lineup ever.
The only thing they showed that was new was Mario. That was just that might be a new Splatoon game, but it looked exactly like the Splatoon game we already have. They showed a Mario Kart game, but it looked like the Mario Kart game we already have. They showed They showed Skyrim, but we already have Skyrim several years ago. Skyrim predates the Wii U existing, for God's sakes. And then and then when they showed Zelda, we've already been shown Zelda. The only new thing they showed was Mario for a little brief minute, and that excited me. If there's a brand new Mario launch title on this system, I am going to be so damn excited.
They just showed you it.
Yeah, but that was the only new game they showed. You know what I mean?
Because it's a teaser. Yeah. They're showing the system and what it can do. They're going to show the game soon.
I told you guys, it's about branding. If you're a smart business executive, you don't go, let's just shoot our load all over the screen at once and show them everything. You have to go, listen, give them a snippet of this, a snippet of that, hold that back, guaranteed, if there's any deals for Rockstar to get any of their games on there, they're not going to show it in a fucking teaser trailer. That's 110% for sure. That would be the dumbest thing ever. And then that would just be stealing the thunder away from the system itself. That's such an epic announcement that they wouldn't put it in here. So I think if you're overlooking that maybe Fallout's going to come to the system, totally can come to the system now. I mean, we all know that Fallout 4 was running on an old shitty engine. They'll just take that shitty engine and put it over on this. Can you imagine, dude, man, like playing Fallout anywhere on just the system? It's like, it's crazy for those RPG lovers out there, and Skyrim, and yes, you keep saying they showed one game, but they showed at least 4. They showed a new Mario, which isn't even being overhyped, which I think is insane. It's a new fucking Mario.
They really should be like, they should have like a trailer just for the new Mario game showing that.
I don't get it.
They're going to be milking that Mario game for, they'll be doing 1,000 Nintendo Directs about it.
They showed it, like, listen to the launch titles. If this is true, like I'm hearing this is insane. A new Mario game, which they only need one of these, but they have a new Mario game. The Zelda.
Just that game alone.
Exactly. The Zelda game. The Splatoon, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I know a ton of Nintendo fanboys out there that love that game. And then a new Mario Kart. If those 4 games come out on launch, that's the best launch we've ever had on a Nintendo console, period. Ever. And then Skyrim to boot, and then whatever secrets, like From Software was on that list, so that could mean so. That's crazy. Like, what did From Software make?
That's not enough for Shane. He wants No Man's Sky on the go.
Like Demon Souls.
I want No Man's Sky on my.
Yeah. Like Demon Souls and Dark Souls is From Software, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's so many games that are going to get announced for this that we haven't even fucking heard yet, and they could be launch titles, which is, you know, if anyone complains like, oh, we played these games before, guaranteed they're all remastered versions that we're getting on PS4 and Xbox One as well. So
with added features.
Exactly.
And stuff.
So if anybody complains about that, oh, boo-hoo. Like, it's just, I think it's icing on the cake. I think it's amazing we're getting all of that stuff dumped onto Nintendo system. So you can complain, yeah, Skyrim's 5 years old, but for me personally, Skyrim's one of my favorite games of all time, and I'll buy it if it looks better and it plays better, at better frame rate. And now the fact that I can play it on the go and I don't have to worry about lugging a system around to play it is pretty impressive.
And
I think that's
Jay,
awesome.
you can finally play it on the bus.
Yeah, I can play it on the bus.
You know, hands down.
I could play it at the grocery store while I get my cakes.
Except for her.
That's what I do all the time. I like playing my video games while I'm getting cakes. So, okay.
So Shane, just one last thing.
Yeah.
In the commercial, because it kind of really was in a lot of sense of the way. In the reveal, they did show a lot of older hipsters and stuff like that. But young kids will look to those guys going, oh, the older kids are playing that, I want to play it. That's why they market it that way.
It's such a win-win for them because they won me back in their marketing because I was like, I don't want to see any children playing any stupid golf games. And what we got, I don't even think it's hit us yet. A new Mario Kart, a new Mario, Skyrim, and a Splatoon game is like, that's pretty impressive. But I think it's undercut by the fact that we've been so disappointed in the past. So that's them trying to win us back, essentially. And it kind of worked on me, but I have to kind of agree with Shane here. Like, the system itself, its design, the controllers coming off, all of that stuff, I will never use that, ever. I'll never take the controllers off unless I want to be comfortable. I hardly will ever go to, like, a fucking rooftop. If I go to like, the airport and pick up a hot blonde chick because of the system, I'll be happy. I'll be super happy if that happens. I doubt it.
But Jay, you're not gonna come to my rooftop party? I'll be waving to you.
Yeah, I definitely will be there.
That's such a New York thing. Like,
now,
you don't ever.
Let's talk about.
Yeah, you don't see that in Canada, right? Like,
it's because we don't have enough. We don't have enough rooftops around in the prairies. But let's talk about the features that this thing didn't show, which we can assume are there. For instance, multi-touch screen, which can be basically a lot like an iPad. Does this mean that this could be backwards compatible with 3DS games and DS games? And also,
I'd say so, yeah.
I gotta also ask this: if that's all compatible, do you think Nintendo's going to be smart this time around and have a virtual console on launch, but have the whole, like, everything laid out? Because, like, that's another aspect we're not even talking about.
We got to say the virtual console on the Wii was the best Virtual Console. And then the Wii U came, and it was so muddled and fucked up, and they never really streamlined that.
The way I want this... Yeah, well...
Let me say this. If it's a modular system, who says that they can't switch out the middle piece?
That is true. I mean, that middle piece could come out and be upgraded in time, right?
They could literally just sell you two screens that overlay over top of each other that gets replaced in the center, and you can...
Oh my god, that's a good point.
Now, let's keep in mind here that the 3DS has, I personally think, the best first-party lineup of any system of all time. The 3DS games are, from first-party perspective, are spectacular Nintendo games, from Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon all the way through everything else they've released, essentially, for that system. Now,
Metroid Prime Federation Force?
Yeah, especially that one. Now, the question really is here, though, now that they haven't split up their divisions, right? It's all one cart, and you just take it to go. Do you think this is confusing to any adults out there for their children? Do you think that's... Like, are they going to look at this thing and be like, we don't know what the fuck it is? Or is it clear to everybody now? It's like, it is a portable and a home console, because it kind of just looks like a portable system.
I think the way they're going to value bundle it. They're going to go, not only do you get a brand new home video game system, but you also get a portable video game system at the exact same time. Buy the Nintendo Switch. Make the Switch from everyone else to us. You know, like, it'll be something like that. Wow. And I mean, that will probably be what it is. And I think that's a good idea. The only problem I can see with this is that kids are going to lose pieces to this console left and right.
Yeah.
I do think those controllers on the sides will be very cheap. I can't see them being $40 maybe each.
How dare you, Jay?
Or they come together. I think you'll buy it like in a 2-pack.
It will be cheap. Sure.
If they're Bluetooth, if they have batteries in them, they're going to have to at least be in some higher price spectrum.
Like $40, $50 US, probably $60 Canadian.
They'll sell it for a super expensive price, like they always do.
Now, here's another thing: there's no camera or microphone in it. So, for online play, where they didn't show anything, what do you think's going to happen there? Some sort of peripheral it sits in?
Well, the online play, if it at home, you're probably going to have Wi-Fi, possibly portable. You're going to have Wi-Fi, but you're not going to see it using any cellular networks or anything like that, because it would jack up the price on that thing to a tremendous amount. And then have to have all these.
I'm just talking at home. Do you think we're going to see some sort of cool peripheral that just is a headset that plugs into it, or
no?
You know, the other thing
the middle piece probably has a headphone jack on it.
The other thing we didn't see was an Ethernet port on the console itself, which I'm just bringing this up so people are not assuming that it doesn't have it, but I'm guessing... Yeah, the Ethernet port's on the base itself.
You didn't have an Ethernet port.
No, but I think it'll be on the base of the console itself. I think it would be silly.
They did do it with the Wii U. I don't think they're going to do it with this one.
Really? I think that would be a mistake.
Okay. Here's
no, because it's a lot of people downloading stuff, right? So... Come on, they have to have an Ethernet port on the base.
All I want is a good online service, and I don't think I'll get it. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, with Nintendo, their online is always all over the place.
Here's another question: do you think that base itself enhances the games at all?
No.
You think it's just a mirror image on the screen?
I think so. Can I tell you why I think that? The reason why I don't think the base is going to have any additional components is simply because if they do that, if Nintendo announces that the base is going to have additional components and additional hardware in it, I want everyone watching. There are 1,356 people watching.
Wow.
Mark my words. If someone mentions that, if Nintendo mentions that the base has a separate processor that processes the games and makes them run better at the base home console, I promise you, Nintendo's third-party support will die like that. It's not even a question. Here's the reason. In order to maximize the processing of an at-home stay system, you have to make two different games. One version of the game runs at a lower resolution and lower specs on the go, and the other version runs at higher specs when you plug it into the base. That means developers are going to have to test functionally two different games with every game they release on the Switch, which is nothing at all like you see that's happening on modern systems right now with the PlayStation 4.
No, wait, you forgot. Scorpio and PlayStation Pro are literally going to do what you just said. There's
Scorpio
two versions of games.
I agree. They're not out yet. What they're gonna do is but see, like that's moving up. That's like you're seeing upscaling from 4K. The games are functionally the same. What you're talking about here is a downgrade in quality. That means when these games are played on the go, if they do that, you're going to see tons of games that come out on the Switch that are at home only and not portable. That's what's going to happen. Because if you tell me right now, without smirking, if you can tell me Call of Duty is going to release a version that runs downgraded portably, and they release another version that runs much better at home, and you honestly think people are going to be okay with that, you're out of your mind. There's no way they're going to be okay with that. The developers are going to get so pissed off because it's like, okay, let's say the portable base has like 1 gig of RAM, and then the actual base station itself has 10 gigs of RAM or something like that. Then everyone that's developing games has to develop games for the lowest form factor, which would be the portable one. And if I were a game developer, I'd be like, well, I have to develop this game as quick as I can, so I'm going to develop it just for the base station and screw this whole portable thing. The portable idea only works if the system itself is one combined unit that just does everything straight from the system. To merge them together is an entirely different process. Plus, when the system gets merged, you have to program it differently.
So basically, when you're playing we got your input on the PlayStation Pro and Scorpio ahead of time here.
Well, the PlayStation 4 and Scorpio are different. Like, okay, PlayStation 4 and Scorpio are trying to achieve 4K gameplay. Which, by the way, do you own a 4K TV?
No, who cares about that shit? My point here is you're saying if a developer has to make 2 versions of a game, it's going to be a nuisance. But all the systems have to do that.
It's got to be the same freaking game.
It's going to be the same thing.
Dude, it's not like, oh, we're adding a couple of extra textures, we're just utilizing more power on one system. You're literally drastically reducing the game to run on a smaller system, and then even more drastically removing it to be portable.
I don't know about that. Apparently, from the chipset and all that stuff, it's very close to PlayStation 4 standards. So, and that's on the go. So, I mean, graphically, I don't care if it's 900p.
How much is this thing going to cost?
900p on the go. I bet you Canadian, because we're Canadian, this thing is at least $399 or more. Easily.
If it's PlayStation 4 specs on the go, there is no way it's close to the PlayStation 4 price. It's got to be way more.
Get leaked, there was going to be like $299, and then there was going to be a $399 bundle version. We don't know what is bundled.
Well, let me just assume that it comes with a Pro controller and a game or 2 games. That's what the bundle would essentially be.
Yeah.
And obviously, they showed it sliding into some sort of device in the car, which means that Nintendo is releasing some sort of clip device so you can clip the display in your room somewhere, which is kind of a cool idea. When I'm on my iPad, I always go, fuck, I wish I could just, like, hang this off of something, and you know what I mean? Because I'm sick of holding it. I just want a display hovering there wherever I want it to be. So I have to be honest, I think that's a cool peripheral for this device. To be able to go to, like, to your friend's house and say we're sitting on the bed or the couch or whatever and just clip it to something like a lamp post is kind of a neat idea. And it kind of does seem cheesy as well. But, I mean, I think it works. I think it'll work for gamers.
Jason XJK2 said $499 bundle. I think that might be what it is. The reason why I think it's going to be that...
$5.99 Canadian. Jesus.
Do you know why I think it's going to be that expensive? Because I think Nintendo is going to position it as it's... Okay, guys, I get it. It's really expensive to buy an at-home console. It's really expensive to buy a portable system. But if you buy ours, it costs less than buying a 3DS and a Wii U together. I think that's what they're going to do.
That's a tough sale. Like, to tell that to your mom or dad on Christmas, like, Mom, can you get me the new console? It's basically a fucking 3DS and a home console, and oh, sorry, Mom, it's $600 Canadian. That's like, we're talking, what was the PS2 when it came out? Wasn't it like Canadian $700 or something crazy?
It was when the PS2 wasn't that much. The PS3 was that much.
Yeah, it was I remember going to Microplay with $700 cash to buy a system, and I was thinking in my head, like, this is insanity to buy a console. So to go now to buy a Nintendo console for even, let's just say it's $4.99 Canadian for the bundle, that's a lot of money, and that, like, you know what else I just thought of? All those people that were like, hey, I want to get the VR headset. I think if you like Nintendo, you just went, I'm not getting the VR headset. I'll put that money into my March purchase of the Nintendo Switch, which is exactly what I did personally, because I was like, I need to get VR. And then I saw this and I said, oh, there goes VR out the window. I'm kind of, I want to ask, I want to ask the chat.
No, dude, you're looking at this completely backwards. This would be the best way for Nintendo to do VR, because they have a portable screen they can put into a visor, and you've got 2 controllers that are wireless, and the entire thing is powered straight from there. That would be the best VR solution anyone's offered from consoles.
Yeah, but the headset would be too big based on that screen.
So?
Well, actually, maybe a bigger screen is better. I don't know, but it would look, you'd look like a nuts person wearing this goddamn thing. But
everyone looks stupid when they use VR.
But you know what's funny? You know what is funny? You do bring up a good point, because there have been so many rumors about Nintendo releasing VR, but I always assumed that it was actually AR that they were going to release. And this system itself, slide this into some sort of peripheral that turns it into an AR. Can you imagine Can you imagine going to Shane's house, Johnny, and playing Mario Party on the systems, but then having the camera show the table and have the actual Mario Party game on the table in front of you with Mario jumping around? That would be kind of cool, but I don't know if that's just as gimmicky as VR is. What do you guys think?
I'm excited about this concept, about the modular concept, simply because a modular design means you can fit this thing in multiple situations. You can turn this console into a VR. Oh my god, yeah. You can turn this console into a VR system. You can turn this system into a home console. You can turn this system into a portable system. There are tons of different options if it works properly. But I mean, that's if Nintendo does it that way. That's if Nintendo goes, oh, yeah, what Sony's doing with VR, yeah, we can do that in 2 seconds. Here, just put it in front of your face.
Can you imagine at E3 next year, they go, oh, by the way, it's a VR helmet, essentially. Pop it in there and you're done. What the fuck? That would be insane. The other thing, I just wanted to say, this came to my head. Can you imagine playing Magic Cards or Dungeons and Dragons where you have the AR and you just see the dungeon?
I don't think it's doing AR. I don't think
so. Here's the thing with Nintendo and VR. They need to get this fucking console into everybody's homes first before they start thinking about VR. You know what I mean? Like, I love VR more than anybody, but get the consoles in. They have to convince everybody who bought a Wii U to buy a Switch. And that's a huge task, and that's for Nintendo to do. That's not for me to do.
Johnny,
you know what I mean?
They get you today?
The reason why we get virtual reality in the PS4 is because we have so many goddamn PS4s in homes. It's a viable thing for them to do now.
Well, Johnny, Johnny and I used to have discussions about this, and we thought, unless Nintendo doesn't really blow us away with this release, it's dead in the water. How do you feel about that after seeing that today? Do you think they didn't blow us away, but I mean, for some reason...
Are you talking to me, Jay?
Yeah, like to both of you. For some reason, I'm not feeling like it's a complete disaster, but I'm not feeling like they knocked it out of the park either.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, let me say, Shane, let me say my piece on this, because I went in and I watched the trailer this morning, and we all knew what it was going to show, and it showed exactly what we thought. For anybody who's been following NX news about the controllers, taking them off, all that, I drew my own designs of it. It was pretty much what it was. What did I think? I was liking it until I saw the Mario 64. Then I was like, you know, for me, Nintendo pulled the heartstrings with that one on me. And Nintendo always does that with old Nintendo fans. They always find the way to pull the heartstrings. It got me with that. I was like, I like this. Did the system blow me away? No, I'm not blown away by any means. I'm not completely disappointed either. I think it's kind of fun. I need to see more games. That's my thing. I need to see more. When I see Luigi's goddamn motherfucking mansion, I can't wait, man. That's what it'll do for me. You know?
Oh yeah, like I don't want to give the impression that I completely dislike this thing. Like, I'm buying it. Like I said, I'm buying it day one. I'm buying games for it. I'm getting my secondary controllers. I'm gonna have a fun time. Like, I'm a Nintendo fan, true and true. But at the same time, man, you got to be critical about this stuff. If you really want to, like, just to blindly love something is to not be a fan of it. Because
Shane, I'm not going to blindly.
I'm not saying you guys are like that. I'm not saying you guys are like that.
I saw some of the games. I'm like, that's cool. I like that. I even said in my video, I'm like, you know, when people are playing a basketball game on this tiny little remote control, it just seemed very, very strange. You know, I even said in the video, I'm like, it's kind of weird. I don't know what to make of that yet. It's only a teaser, so I'm not putting full judgment yet. I'm not saying this thing's the best thing ever or it's the worst thing ever. It's in the middle, and Nintendo has to convince us with the games.
Yeah, will add into that if that little controller doesn't work out for whatever reason, do you think that's going to really tarnish the whole system's life?
What do you mean it doesn't work out?
Let's say we get it on game day. Comes out, we get it. We're all happy. We're excited. We get home. You hand the extra controller to Kim, and she's like, "What the fuck is this?" And then you touch it, and you go, "This is shit." Does that ruin the whole experience, or is how much should we be relying on those extra little controllers, or should we be thinking about the fact that it has a classic controller just like the Wii U did? Honestly, because with the Wii U, I hated using the gamepad. I love the classic controller, right? But come on, guys, those little controllers are a bit weird. So I'm really worried that I'm gonna touch it and be like, ugh, what is this?
But Jay, the great thing is, from my point of view, I'm a console player. I like to sit down on the couch, play a game. So to play it, on the go is a pure option for me. So this is for me personally. This is a very personal, selfish thing. But I like the idea. Hey, I'm going out today and I got some time. I can take it with me. That's a novelty to me. But for some people out there, for some kids out there, they'll be like, "This is the greatest thing ever. I have to take this fucking bus every day to school. Now I can be playing fucking Zelda on it."
Yeah, it is.
And the console version of Zelda. That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good,
man. Yeah, I think that stuff is where I think it's gonna shine in that regard. Let's make, none of us are disagreeing that the first party games that come out from Nintendo are going to be amazing, because Nintendo understands this hardware better than anyone is. So the games they're going to release are going to be using the best features possible. When you make multiplayer games and you can take off 2 controllers and you're at your friend's house and you're both playing it like that, they're going to be able to maximize the use of those controllers the best. But I personally think third party is going to struggle, just like third party struggled to adopt the Wii, just like they struggled to adopt the Wii U. They were really bad at adopting to those systems. I hate when everyone says, well, Nintendo makes bad games. Nintendo makes amazing games. Nintendo makes some of the best games. But it's the third-party companies that tend to falter at understanding Nintendo's vision. Yeah. And that's happened for the last 2 generations.
And the other thing you should add in there, anybody that's arguing in the comments right now and saying, well, no, the system will survive on its own right, just bring up the Wii U, because that did not survive just on first party. Look at it; it was a complete disaster. So,
So we have a lot of hope. I have a lot of hope, and that's
which
all
is
I
odd.
have.
Isn't that kind of odd? We still have hope for Nintendo.
Well, yeah, for sure. I want every video game company to do well. I want Sega to still do well.
No, I mean, but
I don't give a fuck about Konami.
Let's just be honest here. I'm a Nintendo fanboy, obviously, and I mean, I haven't had hope for Nintendo since Super Nintendo. To be honest.
Show them the tattoo, Jay.
I have Legend of Zelda Triforce. I'm a huge fan of them, but I haven't felt the same way I felt about, say, Star Wars about Nintendo since Super Nintendo. I haven't felt you know what I mean? I'm just trying to get across that I'm going in probably a little bit more realistic than I usually would. Wii U really hurt me. I think it's a fucking disaster. Okay. And the marketing was just complete horseshit. This time around, I just have to give my piece here. Third party, I'll agree with Shane and both of you, has to be stellar. It has to be spectacular. And the fact they showed me, hey, listen, here's a little tidbit. Skyrim on the fucking go was enough for me to go, okay, wait a second. Maybe for once they woke up and said, we need third party. It needs to be something spectacular. That's my hope right there.
So Jay, and that's what I'm saying
Sir, just one sec. I'm throwing in an image so everyone can see. This is what we've got looking. That's going to be coming out on. These are the people that are backing Nintendo with the Switch. So we've got 505 Games. We've got Activision, Arc Systems Works, Atlas, Bandai Namco, Bethesda, Capcom, Hamster, Gung Ho, Grasshopper Manufacturer, which I'm actually excited to see them on the list because they come up with some pretty crazy games. Game Trust, Frozenbyte, From Software, EA, Codemasters, NTI Creates, I forget the name they are, Koei, Konami, fuck you. Level 5.
Shane, wait. Do you think Metal Gear Survive is the future of gaming? Shane?
Yeah.
Do I think Metal Gear Survive? I don't think Metal Gear Survive is a game as much as it is a scam.
Could you imagine Metal Gear Survive on separate screens with little controllers?
Oh my god.
Oh god. But you got Take-Two, Telltale, you got Havoc. There's now people that are looking at this list, people on the stream looking at this list right now. Look at that list. A bunch of people there are developers, but you have to understand a lot of the stuff you're seeing here, they're either publishing houses or they're software developers that actually produce the software that people use games on. For instance, Epic Games is more than likely not going to be releasing games on the system. They're just going to be allowing their engine to be used on the system. Fmod does not make games.
No, hang on. Before you start spewing this hate speech.
Speculation.
That's just you speculating horseshit.
Gears of War is going to come to this system.
No, you dumbass. But you're just making a broad assumption. That's a broad assumption what you're saying. Just because it's on the list, you don't know the answer to that. You're just assuming that they're not going to release all these games.
Like list. Get Autodesk and Cryware and Unity. Yes. These are not game developers. A lot of these are
some of them are tech companies that produce parts of engines.
There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe we'll see something come from Epic Games, but I think it's more important that Epic Games is on that list as an engine supplier than it is as a game developer, because Epic Games makes one of the most important game engines on the market right now. So I think it's more important for them to be sponsoring Nintendo in that regard than it is for them making games. I don't care if Call of Duty. Wait. I don't care if what's the name? I don't care if Gears of War comes out.
What's Johnny going to say? Let Johnny talk. What?
So is Shane trying to ruin my hopes of a Metal Gear, Survive coming out? Are you trying to ruin my hopes about this? Is that what you're trying to do? Metal Gear Survive on the go?
You're probably not going to get
with
that.
With the strap-on controllers? Seriously?
Look, we're just speculating on what's going to come there or not. The fact of the matter is they went to Bethesda and said, can we have Skyrim remastered on our system? And the deal went through, which gives me enough hope that they're going to Take-Two Interactive and saying, hey, nudge, nudge, you got GTA 5, right? Yeah, we do. Can we have it too? Yeah, sure. We'll announce it later, though. Cool. Can you, that would change so much. It would change so many opinions about this system if they just said GTA 5, Red Dead 2, boom.
I agree. I completely agree. But
so we have to wait.
Don't you think the Rockstar logo would have been showed?
No, I think
you never know. They might be negotiating now. Exactly. You don't know. Maybe they can't.
That's true. That's very true. They could be negotiating.
So what I wanted to say before is I have hope that Nintendo looked at what happened to the Wii U. They must. They've got to look at why.
Yeah, they're not idiots. They're not dumb.
Yeah.
Well, so they're dumb. But yeah, they're not dumb anymore.
Even Reggie's got to say, hey, we kind of need some third-party support. I'm kind of crazy here, Nintendo Japan. We need more third-party support. That's what he would be saying to Japan, obviously. But I believe that they've learned from that. I believe, I want to believe, Shane. I want to believe. I want Nintendo to do well. As I say, I want all the game companies to do well, so I get great games for every system.
And I'm with them on that.
That's all I want. That's all I want.
I want a system that has great games that I just thoroughly enjoy. I mean, all this negativity surrounding all these discussions about is the system shit, is it going to sell well, it's based on the Wii U's architecture, it's the same fucking controller, and these little controllers are shit. Look at the Game Boy Micro, it didn't sell, so this is going to be garbage. We're all just speculating a bunch of horse shit until we basically pick it up on launch day and go, this is cool. Or, this is garbage. We don't know.
Okay, so there's some people in the chat that just mentioned this. They're using cartridges, so no loading times. That's not true. You're still going to have loading times on a cartridge-based system because you have to load the engine into the RAM. That's how these systems work. So you're still going to have loading times. Just because you're using cartridges doesn't mean that loading times go out the window. You've got loading times on your phone. Your phone doesn't even use cartridges. So think about that.
Here's the deal. Let's take some questions from the audience and thank them for watching this long, and then we can wrap it up.
Yeah, let's do that. So everybody, if you want to send in questions, send in questions to on the chat right here, or
Twitter.
Tweet. Yeah, or Twitter. So tweet at jhooftHC. I'm gonna put these in the actual thing so everyone can see them. Are you guys watching the chat at all?
No.
I am. I've got it up here.
All right. So here, I'm throwing in everybody's Twitter accounts. By the way, do we have a release date on this thing yet?
March.
Isn't that exciting?
Wait a minute.
Are you excited, Shane?
Did you just ask us if there was a release date?
No. But I forgot the actual release date. Isn't that crazy to see how quick it's coming out?
Yeah, that's something. No, that's really weird, man. That's 6 months, isn't it, or 4 months?
It's
I don't
close.
even know. I don't even know.
It's not
January,
far away.
February, March.
It's 6 months. It's 6 months.
Dude, we're getting a brand new Nintendo console that we just discovered today
6.
before Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out. Think about that.
Hey, you know what's amazing? I thought Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer would come out and Twitter would explode and we would never even hear the Nintendo system again, but...
Oh, no, the Nintendo news would be bigger than that.
Yeah, but
sure.
but the Nintendo news crushed Red Dead. Like, Red Dead trailer was like...
I gotta hit, this is a question for both of you, but can you... Honestly, this is why I get excited about machines and, video games in general, is that imagine picking that machine up day one and you get, the new Zelda, but you also get a new Mario 64, whatever they will call it, obviously 64 2 or whatever it will be. Isn't that cool? You can play a brand new Mario game.
No,
that's what we've always wanted, man.
And a Mario Kart.
What if the Super Mario game? What if the Super Mario game is the bundle game, the game you get with the system?
There's no way they will.
Could you imagine?
World on fire. That would be insanity.
Every Nintendo system I've bought since the Wii has always had a game bundled in with it. Hell, even the older ones, I always got them when they had a game bundled in with them. So could you imagine how amazing that would happen if the bundled in game is
Wait a second, I just thought of something. What comes out really soon on mobile devices from Nintendo?
Fun?
Oh, you think that's going to be included, huh?
No, I'm thinking this. I'm thinking that Nintendo's smart enough to put their mascot on every cell phone in the world, and then all of a sudden go, by the way, for the full experience, it comes packaged in our new system, motherfuckers.
No. It better not be a Mario Run game. I'd kill somebody.
No, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. I'm saying that the Mario Run game is the lead up to the full game, and they're going to basically say, Mario Run, you love that? Everyone in the world's playing it? Guess what? We have a full-fledged Mario game that comes with our new system. All you have to do is go buy it. That's the way that they should really launch this thing, with that Mario game included. That would be incredible. So any questions coming in that we
Okay, I'm looking right now. So we've got several. All right, so do you think new IPs will be announced with the release of Switch? And that's from Lake Worthless at Reflex138. So do you think new IPs will be announced with the release of the Switch?
Yes.
I have to imagine.
Because Emily Rogers, who's a big person who online reports Nintendo rumors and has been true quite a lot of times, said that they're coming out with a brand new IP that is really unusual, kind of in the Splatoon kind of unusual zone. So, yeah, I think definitely so.
So somebody, Justin Dean says, shouldn't Bethesda support speak well enough about the development process of the Switch? They wouldn't port it if it was that hard to do. Do you agree with that?
No.
So
Bethesda's a big company. They if it was hard to port, they would do it anyway, just because they want to. Remember, they didn't come to the market going, "Oh, here's Fallout 4." They're showing Skyrim. They're basically showing a game that, look, yes, it's the remastered version of Skyrim. That's fine, but they're showing a much older game working on it. I think the intention is. And I think with that image, I'm going to show the image again on the chat here. With this image showing Havok, showing Rad Tools, Silicon Studio, showing Unity, Fmod, Epic Games, and Cryware and Autodesk, I think showing those logos is basically, that was for developers. That was for developers to go, look, if you've got games running on these engines, we can find a way to make it work on this system with you.
Hey,
I think that's what that was for.
If they can put Fallout 4 in VR, they can do anything. I think, you know what I mean? They can practically pull anything off. I
think I would have been far more excited to see Fallout 4 be shown off there, but at the same time, this is like your first show. Do you really want to show the really big violent scenes from Fallout 4? Because you looked at the Skyrim stuff, it's very minute. Like it was like a dude with a club walking down a path. You didn't actually, and then another scene where he's like fighting a dragon, but you don't actually see. Like in Fallout 4, what are you going to show? How about we show somebody's head being blown off with a shotgun? Nintendo's never really been the one to show off super violent stuff, and what they showed off was a lot of kid-friendly things.
Don't you think let me just say this out loud. We saw a trailer for a new Nintendo system, and in that footage, we saw a Legend of Zelda game bookended with Skyrim. Like
that was cool.
Me for a trip. Because when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, new Zelda game goes first person," and then I was like, "Oh, that's Skyrim." Like it just switched in my head really quick.
I didn't get it. I watched it right through, and I went, "Oh, Zelda's got dragons, cool." I didn't even realize it was Skyrim until Review Tech USA was like, "Skyrim?" ? And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I watched it again. It's so weird, guys. Like Skyrim is on a Nintendo system, which, again, I'm just going to say, gives me hope that it's opening the door.
That's a good point. Yeah, the hope again, right, for third-party support.
Dustin Smith said, why can't Nintendo just use RAM discs instead of carts? RAM from suppliers is extremely cheap and would eliminate load times. The reason why they can't use RAM discs is because RAM discs are you need a lot of space, and the larger RAM is, the more expensive it is because it's a lot faster. It's random access memory is a lot faster to be read, so the actual cost of that stuff is expensive. In order to fit an entire game, like let's say, I'm just going to use the Call of Duty example again, 130 gigs on a RAM disk would be crazy expensive. Plus, the production cost of something like that would exceed the cost of the console itself. You'd probably be looking at something like $500 or $600 per game. That's why they can't use RAM discs. A similar idea to what they did with that was what they did with the Neo Geo years back. And the Neo Geo, every cartridge for that system cost tons and tons of money. Johnny, you own a Neo Geo, right?
Of course.
Yeah. And how much do those games go for?
Oh, back in the day, $250 to $350, $400 bucks.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So they're not going to use RAM discs for that reason.
Launched. You got it years later when it got cheap.
That's why they're not going to use it. I think it's if we had to choose between, and I'll say this, because the system is portable. Here's what I think they could have done, but in a way I'm kind of glad they didn't. They could have had the home base with a CD drive or something like a Blu-ray drive, and the portable thing had a big hard drive built into it with SD card support. And when you put the game on the disc, it downloaded it straight to the game system, and then you could just take it to go. And that way they could have prevented you from having to use cartridges and stuff. But I think in the long run, cartridges is probably a smarter idea to go about, just because it's far better portable, Wait, and that way you can buy a game. You can buy a video game at the store, put it in the cartridge on your way home and play it.
The other thing I wanted to bring up, really quickly, is the user interface, because we all know the Wii U interface is so sluggish, so slow. I pray to God this has a standby mode. Obviously, it must have a standby mode where you just wake it up and we're into the game again. That's something that nobody's talking about, is the UI. What do you guys think is going to change on this thing in terms of the UI? You think we're basically going to be looking at an iPad screen?
Say, yeah.
I think you're going to see something very similar to what the Wii U's interface is like. I can't imagine they're going to change too much. But I'll say this: you're talking about standby and all that. What's the battery life going to be on something that can run Skyrim on the go?
Well, I think it's 4 hours.
Like 3 to 5 hours. See,
that's probably.
We were saying 4 to 5, and then I'm like going maybe 3 to 5.
But hang on a second, guys. There's one thing that we just should bring up. This is designed to be modular, so who's to say Nintendo doesn't release a modular pack that slides on that is an extra battery?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Which is totally fine. I'm fine with that. I'll take the extra battery if that means I can play Skyrim for 8 hours on the go. Sure.
The moment you go modular, you can do tons of extra fun things. I mean, that's one of the most exciting things, because what they're showing us right now was a glimpse. But if they do modular design really well, it can be anything. It can be anything they want to be, because you can just expand upon it.
Now, is it waterproof? That's another question. It probably isn't.
But if it has connecting ports to the sides, I can't imagine it is.
Shane, there's a question for you here. Somebody just tweeted to me. Dean Desserts. He asked, you've talked a lot about the technical aspects of the Switch today, but what is your favorite chocolate cake?
My favorite chocolate cake is 3-layer tuxedo cake.
Is it really, though?
Yeah, because you get 3 different layers of chocolate.
You really knew the answer to that, right?
You know what's
amazing?
I
love food. Do we not all love food? Okay.
All you guys watching out there, let's just give some context here, subtext, that Shane, he would crawl over his wife's dead body to eat the best chocolate cake in the world. He loves chocolate cake so much that he'll divert a flight to land at a bakery in Paris if he has to. That's how much he likes chocolate cake.
Okay. Jay, I got to say this. The very first time I met Shane, it was me and Kim. We went to meet him and his wife. And guess where we went to meet them? Because we were in Ontario. So I don't know the local area. We went to a fucking dessert bar. I swear to God, it was a dessert bar.
Yeah, it was a good place, man.
You know how desserts? Like, Shane would come over when I'm staying with my mom and sisters, like staying over there. And he would show up, and we'd eat dinner, have a great dinner, and he'd turn to me and Terrence and be like, "Yeah, so you guys want to get some dessert?" We're like, "Oh."
I like dessert. What's wrong with that?
So that's why we keep making fun of Shane.
Find some cake shop for him.
So you know what? Do you have a PO box, Shane?
Yeah.
Guys, send him the most luxurious cake mixes from around the world. I'm not even kidding, guys.
Don't listen to Jay. Do not
guys,
send
I'm not
cakes to my
fucking
PO
kidding.
box.
Send him pastry recipes in the mail with all of the ingredients, all that stuff.
Recipes are fine.
Yeah.
Recipes are fine. Please don't send full cakes in the PO box.
Okay, JJ.
Like
he says not to send them, but this would be him. He'd go to the PO box. He'd be like,
yeah.
No, it's gonna.
I'm saying send him.
You guys are doing this, and now there's a bunch of people that are listening to my to what I'm saying, and they hate my opinion. Going, I'm gonna send you a cake. You're damn right, you son of a bitch. It's like it's gonna be that because I'm gonna have all these like
You're having a fucking orgasm.
I'm gonna go to my PO box, and then the mail order person's gonna be like, so you got like 16 expired cakes sitting in the back here. Do you want me to just like throw them out or something? No, you can't. They can't throw it. They legally have to give it to you. So I'm gonna be like hawking all these like expired cakes. It's gonna be terrible. Don't please.
He eats it. So any other questions that we want to take before we get on? This is the first and only Final Bosses podcast, by the way, and I'm not even a final boss, so this is the first and last.
He's a failure boss.
A failure boss. I joined the website after it failed miserably. Any other questions?
Somebody on the chat mentioned this. They told me to show this controller off because this is a controller I did a video on a little while ago, and it's one of my favorite little mobile controllers. This is a portable Famicom Bluetooth controller, and it's made for using like on cell phones and stuff like that. It's got two shoulder buttons on each side. It's got a D-pad, but it also has like sunken in little like thumbsticks and stuff. This controller kicks ass. It is really, really cool. It's awesome, and when you turn it on, it's got a really good light-up feature to it. So let me see if I can do that right there. And like it switches to paste off what you're doing and stuff like that. It's a really, really awesome controller. And if Nintendo were to release something like this with this new system, I think that would be successful too. But what they were showing off there, I think, was really good. Arguably, what they showed looked a little weird, but I think from a handheld perspective, because you know what other controller looks really weird, but is one of the best controllers ever made? GameCube. Now, the
GameCube is a little small for me. It's like I don't hate it, but it's not.
I like the Virtual Boy controller the most.
The Virtual Boy controller is actually really neat.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a sucker for it. If anyone's never seen one, here, I actually pull that one out right now.
Johnny, any other questions while he goes and gets cake?
From the chat, somebody says, my question is, how many controllers will it come with, and how much extra controllers and peripherals will it be?
Well, here's the thing that I noticed with that. Yeah, I love that controller. So here's the thing about the footage that we saw. If you've noticed, and I don't think a lot of people notice this, but if you have two of the systems back to back, it syncs the game between them, and you can have 4 players playing that single copy of the game. Now, here's the question.
Yeah.
Here's the question, guys. Is that one copy of the game that's being streamed to the other system to be able to play 4 players? That's one question. Number 2, how much are these controllers going to cost, right? Because if you want to play 4 players, you have to get an extra one right away. But if I'm a fan of multiplayer, I don't mind spending that money. But yeah, do you think you will need 2 copies of the game?
Of course you'll need 2 copies.
But on the DS, you never needed. You could do share play and send the data over.
You know, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're going to have to be very focused on having 2 copies of the game, simply because, you know, if you really want to sell games on the system, people need to have the copies. Like, I think of it this way. Can you play Splatoon with a friend that doesn't have Splatoon? No. So it makes sense for them to be selling it that way. I think they're really gonna have to focus on that way. I understand the whole mobile focus and stuff like that, and having like a limited free version and things like that. But I think it makes more sense just to be like, hey, you want to play the game with me? You have to buy the game as well. I think it's better for Nintendo. I think it's better for consumers, and I think it's better for publishers to not have to focus on making a free version of the game that just gets ported off through Wi-Fi to friends' game systems and stuff.
Yeah.
And realistically, I mean, like, guys, yeah, it's cool if we're going to be walking around playing this brand new Switch system on buses and stuff like that. But realistically, I think the majority of people are going to be wanting to play these games online.
Yeah.
You know? And I think if they have a bad online focus, by the way, this is something I said before. If we get Grand Theft Auto 5 on this system, if we get Red Dead Redemption 2, if we get some of these really good online games, if Call of Duty comes on this system and it's limited, okay, and it's limited, let's just be honest, it's limited, it's not as powerful as on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, even if it is a little bit limited, if Nintendo keeps focusing on the free-to-play aspect for online, then I think we're going to have a really cool feature where if you want to play this game for free online without paying a monthly fee, you can only do it on the Switch. Yeah. I think all the marketing for Nintendo is going to be make the Switch, like get out of one thing, come over to this. I think that's what it's going to be about. Switching from pay-to-play to free-to-play online and stuff like that.
Well, Nintendo's never charged to play online, so it's going to be interesting to see if they're upgrading the systems and the servers and all that jazz. Are they going to have to charge? But here's another question. How would you feel about sort of a PSN Plus, but Nintendo version where they give away classic Nintendo games in bundles every month opposed to a brand new PSN game every
If I can have the name Happy Console Gamer on there and just look up JKB and say, oh, there he's online, I can play with him and we can chat like you should be able to do, then I'll be happy.
Now here's a question. This device could easily support Skype or any of those outside apps because there's a rumor it's running on an Android-based launching system. I don't know if it is or not, but can you imagine they just put Skype in there, boom, and it runs just as good as on an iPad? That's another question here. Like, is it going to have the Android sort of apps in there?
Because they're using a Tegra chip, I actually think it has to be focused around Android. It doesn't make they would have to create something completely different. I don't think it would be wise for them to do that.
So that's really good for backwards compatibility. They could easily make an amazing app for chat and online using it, and you just click it open and it's running in the background and you're playing your game while you're having the chat.
Jay, could you imagine a Mario 64 2 with co-op?
Oh my god, man.
Dude, imagine taking Super Mario Kart off the original SNES and playing that co-op through online features that they're just offering straight from the system.
See, that's insane. What if they did this, guys? They took every two-player game from back in the day on the Virtual Console and made it online playable.
That's dream stuff. That's not going to happen.
Dude, we can do that on emulators right now.
We can do that. I'm just saying.
If Nintendo offered
if they did that, yeah.
If Nintendo was like, okay, guys, every NES game, every Super Nintendo game, every Sega Genesis game, every TurboGrafx game, all these games that you can play on this system, 99 cents per game.
And multiplayer is involved, and scoreboards, the ability to live stream. That's another thing we didn't even bring up. How are you going to live stream from this device if it's a handheld system? How are you going to capture footage? All those questions remain to be seen. I'm sure that you just run an HDMI in and out, and you might get a signal out there, but it's gonna. I don't know how that's gonna work.
If it's using technology that's similar to the NVIDIA Shield, it's got streaming capabilities. So it would just be able to.
Can you imagine? You just push the Twitter app, the actual Twitch app on the device. You download Twitch and just hit it, and then you're live streaming your NX footage. But the question is, where's the video? The actual camera and the microphone. That's another thing.
And how much footage will Nintendo claim as soon as it goes live?
That's exactly what I was thinking, Shane. Yeah. I'm like, Nintendo would never.
Of all the companies, Nintendo's been pretty bad about claiming YouTube videos and Twitch streams, so I don't think. Yeah.
So now we're just talking about our dreams of this system, like backwards compatibility with the Virtual Console and online, modes being featured on those games. I just think that the idea of it being an Android-based system really opens the door for other cool apps to be running in the background. For instance, say Skyrim has its game up, but say you switch to an alternate app that can... Here's the other thing. What if two apps can be opened at once? Like a game on one side of the screen and a window browser on the other side, and it's live. You watch YouTube. That's another cool aspect on this system that we haven't even talked about.
Yeah, I agree. All right, man. Well, I think we've talked a lot about this. I think we've said some pretty cool things. So let's just wrap this up at the top. So, Johnny, what do you think? Are you going to be buying the system? Are you excited for it?
Also, let them know where we can find you if they don't.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, give your share out your deets, man.
Okay, I'll shout myself out, I guess. I have the Happy Console Gamer Show on YouTube, but no, I'm excited about the Switch. I always want to call it the Twitch. I don't know why I keep wanting to say that. It's pretty bad, but I'm looking forward to the new software. That's exactly what I'm looking forward to. The console itself is weird looking. It's strange. It's unusual, but I do like it. But it's all about the games. I'm looking forward to Luigi's Mansion, Animal Crossing, hearing some announcements of something like that. The new Pokemon game, online would be fucking grand. Mario 64, even Splatoon, a brand new Splatoon game. I'm looking forward to all the aspects of it. I'm reasonable. I would say I'm reasonably excited. I'm not losing my fucking mind, but I'm happy. I'm not upset. Jay.
You can follow me on Twitter at JayHooft, so JayHooft. I'm going to actually upload a copy of this whole live stream to my channel as well, so follow me on Twitter if you want to go back and watch it, or you can obviously watch it on Shane's channel. I think you upload the stuff?
This is going to be, so everybody watching, this is going to be an unlisted stream. If you want to see it publicly, you're only going to be able to see it on Jay's.
Oh, I love you. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Shane for letting us come on your channel and do this. In personal opinion about this system is same as Johnny's, essentially. I just think that I'm carrying the hope out that the third party will be there. I'll buy it regardless because of the first party. And another thing I just wanted to quickly say is they released some brand new Legend of Zelda trailers just before they released the NX trailers that showed off the weather effects and a few different aspects. If that got overshadowed, go check those out as well, because it really shows what they want to do with that Zelda game. And I mean, for me personally, for a Zelda game to have the atmosphere from like Ocarina of Time in the graveyard with the lightning and everything, that's one of my favorite aspects of the of Zelda, and the skeletons coming out of the graves. And in this trailer that they show a major storm come sweeping through in real time, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. So that's what I'm mostly excited about to play on the Switch. Thanks for watching.
I'm excited to see I'm buying the Switch. I'm excited to play it. I've got my reservations. I've got my criticisms, but my criticisms are just reviewer criticisms. They're not my own personal thing is dude, you give me a brand new Mario game, I'm good. You give me a new Zelda game, I'm good. You give me Splatoon, I'm good. Any one of those games.
You give him No Man's Sky, he'll fucking eat a cake.
Oh my god.
On his stream for your pleasure.
The only game that they showed off that I wouldn't buy the system for would be Skyrim, only due to the fact that I've already played Skyrim.
Well,
that doesn't entice me. But everything else they and NBA
Cooking Mama 2 Cake Edition, that would be right up your alley.
I would play the hell out of that. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch more videos on Rerez, please subscribe to Rerez at that link right there. And if you want to watch these guys, I put in their links in the chat. Thank you guys so much. Have yourselves an awesome evening.
Bye.
Later.